I, 28F, asked my husband, 32M, to block someone the other night. Feeling unsure of myself. So, I'm hemming and hawing on this. I, 28F, and my husband, 32M, have been together nearly a decade, married last October. Generally our relationship is very good. For some relevant context, we've dabbled in ethical non-monogamy in the past, but closed the relationship a couple months prior to getting married as it was a big life change and we wanted to see how the world interacted with us as a married couple. Moving on to the issue. There is a woman who has been pursuing my husband. We'll refer to her as B and I have some history, and, to put it bluntly, I hate her. I absolutely despise this woman with every fiber of my being, and that was before all of this. She has a history of being mentally and physically abusive to multiple partners. She is dishonest and insincere in just about every interaction. She makes my skin crawl. She started seriously pursuing my husband just before we got married, knowing we had closed the relationship. The list of occurrences goes as follows. 1. The first time she visited, early in our relationship, I went to my husband and I's bedroom to take a nap. I have chronic health conditions and worked in healthcare and needed to recuperate. I came out to find them in the dark with her sprawled across his lap. She left very shortly after. 2. She started her serious pursuit of him a week before we got married. This included a message stating that, husband's name, and I may be interested in each other, like I had no say or agency in the matter. This was sent in the days leading up to our wedding. 3. She was hitting on him via Facebook Messenger on our wedding day, and only stopped when expressly told to do so. 4. She tried to be friendly, to then only give one-word replies, blow off any genuine attempts at conversation, etc. This culminated in her inviting my husband and I to a holiday party. I was immediately uninvited in favor of a man who raped me and was horrifically abusive to me. I have permanent sensation loss in various parts of my body from what he did to me. I want to add, my husband did tell her off for this, but it does bother me that this wasn't the end of things. 5. After being told it would be a minimum of a year, she started pushing again recently. I told my husband I wasn't okay with them ever having a romantic or sexual relationship. I believe she has no respect for me or our relationship. I told him to very plainly and clearly enforce this boundary with her. 6. Very shortly after the above, she started pushing to hang out with him. I stated I would only be okay with it as a friendly, nothing sexual, sensual, or romantic hangout. That if anything felt charged, he was to leave. He made a few very crass jokes and comments about apology gifts, to which I stated that clearly the temptation was too much, that I was sick of hearing about this woman. I demanded he blocked her. I have had her blocked for months. After some back and forth, he did so. It was after this I found out she was pushing for an overnight visit. The morning after I saw an account with a variation of her first name, think Catherine and Cat note. This is not the name, just a comparable example, and her last name pop into my suggested friends on Facebook. Brand new account. No friends. No info. No pictures. Then it disappeared. Had a friend look. It still exists. This account blocked me. I feel like I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone. I have been told she has caused an issue in several other relationships, and several of even my most anarchical poly friends have said I made the right call. However, my husband is moping. And this is very new to me. I'm not usually a jealous or possessive person. And I usually, but obviously not always, only a Sith deals in absolutes, find stuff like demanding a partner block someone super toxic. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Help? Note. Small edits were made for spelling errors because autocorrect is a jerk. Edit 2. For clarity. While it is included in the instance 6 paragraph, I think it is getting lost. He did block her after we had some back and forth regarding the matter. I, essentially, laid everything out as I have here and mentioned that every time she comes up, it's a fight and that I feel she's become a point of toxicity. At which point he did block her. I'm more concerned that it looks like she made another Facebook account and blocked me. Though, she's made no attempt to contact him or I yet. 1. Why hasn't your husband stood by your side and took the initiative and blocked her years ago before your wedding? 2. There is no other question. She isn't the issue, it's your husband. Given his lack of doing his part in shutting her down, I don't doubt he's in contact with her through the new account. It's either already happening or only a matter of time. So your husband is willing to fuck anything that looks him in the eye, but you think the problem is the woman who has made plain that she doesn't like you and wants to hurt you, yet he's still interested in her? Darling, the call is coming from inside the house. This is why non-monogamy doesn't mean, no rules, do whatever you want. You're entirely allowed to veto people who don't respect your existing relationship or are clearly going to be more drama than they're worth. Your husband will get over not getting to sleep with the woman who heinously insulted you and tried to make your wedding day all about her. And if he doesn't, that's on him for not caring more about your feelings than the way she strokes his ego, or anything else. And you should explore why that is instead of feeling guilty for not just rolling over and letting this happen. The issue isn't the girl. It's your husband who is clearly not abiding by the rules and more importantly obviously wants this person in his life no matter what. He's putting this person above you and your marriage. Guy I'm dating, 24M. Doesn't agree with my bikini and I, 21F, need advice. About 2 weeks ago I, 21 female, met someone, 24M, on a festival. It was quite a hilarious way of meeting someone, as it was a pride festival. I'm bisexual. And he was straight, but accidentally went there without checking what sort of festival it was. We met at the start and stayed together for the duration of the entire festival. We hit it off great and as we were surprisingly both sober, I don't drink much alcohol, we were having fun conversations as well. We exchanged contacts afterwards and started chatting, and within a few days we found so much things in common and liked each other so much we started the early stage of dating. This guy is adorable and great, but there's one thing about him that upsets me. He's incredibly insecure and jealous, which I thought was alright because I am the same. We both got cheated on in the past and I've been in an abusive relationship as well, meaning we're both careful in a way. However, we're barely dating for 2 weeks now, just got in the stage of texting each other hearts and getting drinks at a bar. I'm on vacation now and he misses me a lot, keeps asking for selfies constantly. I have to send at least 5 minimum every day through Snapchat. Yesterday I was at the pool. I'm staying in a nature, artsy place with barely any people my age. Most are older couples or families with young children. I brought a new bikini with me which has a normal fully covering top, but a string-like low-cut bottom piece. I'm not wearing it to feel sexy, I just want to swim and there aren't many bikinis that fit me this well. I have a small waist and a small lower body, but a huge bust. He asked to see my bikini and I sent him a picture. He's been upset with me ever since and keeps making a point about how I should change what I wear because it makes him uncomfortable and that I should admit it's too revealing. It's really not that bad. I said fine and admitted it for his sake, but I also told him I wouldn't change what I wear. I really like the bikini and the color complements my skin color as well. I haven't had anyone stare at me or try to touch me either. And I'm not gonna change something about myself for someone else, because I have bad past experiences with that. He tells me he doesn't want anyone to see that much of my body, but I've proven him I've been loyal to him ever since I met him even though I'm not even his girlfriend and we aren't official in any way. I get quite some attention from guys and I turn them down for him. I'm not sure if I'm wrong for not changing my bikini or that he's overreacting. I really like him but this is a huge turnoff for me. Should I change for him or should I reconsider things? Edit. Thank you so much for all the comments. There are so many that I can't comment on all of them, but I'll read everything you guys said. Also, he's been excusing his behavior right now. I'm waiting till I get back from the vacation and I'm planning on breaking things off as I notice his behavior is getting quite controlling. He's also been pushing me into trying anal and sex without a condom. I don't have contraceptives and my body reacts weird to the regular pill. I'm done with being controlled lol. Thank you all so much. We both got cheated on in the past and I've been in an abusive relationship as well, meaning we're both careful in a way. You're not being careful. You're repeating the same pattern of being with abusive and controlling men. You've been with him for 2 weeks and he already displaying his controlling behavior. Be thankful that he's showing his true self this early on and leave. 5 selfies a day would be enough for me. Girl, it's been 2 weeks. You don't owe this guy anything. 2 weeks? 5 selfies a day and control issues over your swimwear? Girl, please reconsider. He may well be adorable, but he's certainly not great. Just because he is insecure doesn't mean he can dictate what you wear. If you were wearing it to feel sexy for yourself, that's not his issue either. You don't need to dress for a man, dress for yourself and feel comfortable. It's very early in the relationship, but this is the early signs of controlling behavior and it will only get worse if you do not speak to him about it. As a guy, I can tell you he is trouble. He has no right to be imposing his views on your vacation clothing. Also, do you really believe that he didn't know it was a pride event? My 35F husband, 35M, wants a open marriage but only open on his end. This is my first post and I'm on the app and have read from previous post that the format can be a little off, so hopefully all is well. Here it goes. This past weekend I traveled out of state for a friend's wedding, a very short visit. We arrived Saturday evening and the wedding was Sunday. On Saturday night my mother had our children, so my husband and I went to his friend's cookout and we were supposed to watch the fight. My husband suggested we leave before the fight and hit up a bar, karaoke place, and I was okay with that due to us never getting out anymore now that we moved out of state and don't know anyone to babysit. Anywho, on the way to the bar he asks a general question not pertaining to us about open relationships. I answered his question and he became upset thinking I was personalizing it, however I was not mentioning us. He then says I'm an idiot and this is why he hates me. And wants a divorce. He says this often. Then says he wants an open marriage, but only open on his end, meaning he can see other women but I cannot see other men. I told him absolutely not, and that if I were to ever agree to something so dumb as an open marriage it would be on both ends. He then says, he deserves to be able to fuck other women. SMH sir, why did you even marry me? I ignored him for the rest of the trip pretty much until the wedding, where I put on a front so that I didn't ruin my friend's day. I should add he did apologize on the way to the wedding and said he didn't mean it. I wasn't going to go the wedding but felt obligated. When we got home he said that the wedding made him realize some things he forgot and he knows what he needs to do, but honestly so much trauma has happened since, that I just don't believe him and don't think I can be in this marriage anymore. I honestly cannot believe I'm saying this because I love this man so much, but it's clear that he doesn't love or want a marriage with me, because if so we wouldn't be going through so much in just shy of our 2-year anniversary. Together for 10 years, married for almost 2. I just don't know where to even start with planning a move back to my hometown. SMH. My job ended the end of June and I'm still looking for a new one, so I feel sort of stuck. But then there's my overthinking holding me back also, because I took my vows serious and was serious about spending my life with this man, plus who can afford a lawyer for a divorce? Certainly not me right now. It's just so much to think about, because all I took from that conversation is that he's seeking my approval to cheat. He's already opening the relationship and was just letting you know. Get tested for STDs. He doesn't want an open marriage. It is truly tiresome how many people want to use that phrase to describe their infidelity. I guess it sounds better than, I want to fuck other people. There's a greater than 0 chance he's already cheated. Look, he's already checked out of this marriage and has 1 foot out the door. Call your family and tell them everything you've said here. Do not be embarrassed and do not try to protect him. Tell them how he threatens divorce at the drop of a hat and has said he deserves more sexual partners. Ask them to help you. Don't raise your children in a home where their father dislikes their mother and treats her badly. Don't give your kids that example of what marriage looks like. Rather waste 10 years with the wrong guy than 20, by the way. You only have 1 life and time is the most precious thing you have. He's already cheating. He just wants to be out in the open with the person. Let him get the divorce. Start shopping lawyers. Are you hoping he'll change? He says he hates you. I mean, what more do you need? Get it together and GTFO. 36F My husband 43M might have cheated and I can't let it go. My 36F husband 43M might have cheated and I can't let it go. I've never had doubts really before about him in our 9 years together. We've been married 6 years. 2 years ago we moved to a new area and had essentially no friends. We have been working a lot, totally redoing our house and doing most the work ourselves. I was making more money than him until very recently. Our marriage was very strained. Very little intimacy. He made a friend with a younger coworker, 28F, who seemed like a very nice person. She helped us get a great deal to paint our interior home. She connected him with a potential job with her boyfriend. Didn't work out. At one point, her, the boyfriend, my husband and I did all meet up together at his house for drinks and appetizers. It was a nice time. While I was out of town visiting a college girlfriend, he told me he would go out and have a drink with her, and it turned into dinner. She ended up breaking up with her boyfriend for a period, and we invited her for a beer and ended up inviting her to go on vacation with us. My sister was already going as well. The idea was to save money by having more people to share costs. I found out between planning the vacation and before we left that they had dinner a second time, and had gone out with a group of coworkers to a club music venue 2 times. On vacation it was super awkward, but nothing I could put my finger on directly. She acted strangely, and ended up leaving and going out on her own for the last 2 days. Trying to talk to my husband about it, we had the worst fight, and he was very defensive. He was adamant that nothing happened between them and he wasn't attracted to her. He said he was not okay with her behavior, and was not going to be friends with her anymore. But, I don't really know why, as she really didn't do anything wrong. A couple weeks after we returned, I saw a text from her to him, not trying to reach out or anything, but here is a podcast I thought you would like. I thought this was the type of text one would send an ex, so I looked at my phone bill and discovered that they texted a lot over the last 6-8 months, with some longer phone calls, also 15-20 minutes. I confronted my husband and only got intense denial and yelling. We can't seem to have a conversation about it without him calling me crazy. It is driving me crazy. My intuition is giving me red flags and won't stop. However, if something did happen, I do believe it is over. I love my husband. How do we move forward with this? Follow your gut. 1. They had an affair. 2. They regretted it. 3. Agreed to go low to no contact. I don't necessarily think they had sex, though that could be. But definitely something got out of hand. Someone or both caught feels. Could have been anything from a rejected confession to a mutual crush to a full-blown affair. It sounds pretty clear that he, at the very least, had an emotional affair. I wouldn't be surprised if there was more, but it's only a gut feeling at best. You're right to question this, and it seems extremely fishy. They might have been really good platonic friends who shared a lot of interests, had a good time with, kept it friendly, and just had a falling out. Or she may have had an affair with him and came to the realization that it was wrong and cut it off. It's awkward that she suddenly goes no contact after she had been friends with you, only to suddenly say, not trying to reach out, but here's a podcast I thought you'd like. That's weird. You're not going to get a straight answer from your husband. Try to see if you can get a straight answer from her. Try not to approach her with too much anger and judgment. Ask her outright, were you having an affair with my husband?